Alright, Shalom. First and foremost of all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, a great millstone for teaching us the mercy and truth according to the Bible well, and peace and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Take their spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Willing into the Lord's willing edifying lesson. Being sober-minded, we as, who have been given this knowledge, this wisdom, the truth of Yahweh Shai, ought to be sober-minded, clear-minded, very vigilant, very watchful, right? As this is real quick, this is Psalms 119. It says, verse 9, it says, "Wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed thereto according to thy word," right? So you cleanse your mind, you clean up your act, your way of life that you're living by taking heed to the words of Yahweh Shai, right? And as we have been given knowledge in wisdom, right? We bring these scriptures out all the time, right? But this is Proverbs 8:12. "I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions," right? What's prudence? Walking very cautionary, right? Walking with cautions. That's what wisdom has to offer those that give their minds over to wisdom, right? That give their minds over to the instructions of Yahweh Shai, that do not rebel against the orders and the doctrine, teachings that Yahweh Shai is trying to show His people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, starting with the elect, the remnant that will come back in these last days. Right, so let's get 1 Peter's. I got a few scriptures written down. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13 says, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind," right? Gird up the loins, but of your mind. Have your mind ready for battle, ready to fight this spiritual war. Right? You see, gird up. They show how. In the ancient times, if you brothers ever seen a picture how they'll gird up their garments when there was time to go fight in a battle, right? This is St. Luke 12:35. "Let your loins be girt about," right? What are your loins girt about with the truth? "And your lights burning," right? This truth that we have, these are our lights, the oil. Right, this knowledge, this wisdom, we're applying it, we're using it. It's burning. It can be seen, right? It's radiating. It's shining through us, right? Through our actions, through our mental stability, right? That this truth is teaching us day to day as we grow more and more in the knowledge of Yahweh Shai, right? 1 Peter 1:13, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind," right? Be sober, right? So we have to be someone who's sober-minded. They're clear-headed. They can think clearly. They're not influenced, right? They're not hungover. Their judgment is not impaired, right? And that's what Babylon the Great, which is aka America, the way that this world is set up, is trying to do to impair your thoughts to where you don't know proper judgment, you don't know proper problem solving skills, right? You have to take heed to the instructions of Yahweh Shai, constantly do that which is right, constantly do that which is good in the Lord's eyes, and trust that the wisdom of Yahweh Shai is guiding you, right, in your day-to-day life, in your decision-making, because you're doing that which is pleasing to your God, right? Making the right decisions, right? Following the commandments of Yahweh Shai, walking with faith. It says, "Be sober in hope," right? That hope is the expectation to the end for the grace that is to be brought onto you at the revelation or the revealing of Yahweh Shai Amashiach, right? So our expectation is at the end, that gift of everlasting life, immortality, right, is going to befall us if we continue to be sober-minded. We gird up our loins, the loins of our mind for this spiritual fight as obedient children, right, as the sons of God that obey His will, right? Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance, right? So why are you with the fashion or with the form? We have to be those new creatures. That former you, right? That is gone. That is dead and gone. Those old bad habits that you might have had, the way you reacted to traffic on the road, the way you reacted to long lines at the grocery store, the way you reacted, when things didn't go your way, right? Whatever it may be, or certain difficult situations you're in, the food that you're eating, right? Type of entertainment that you indulge in, right? All these things, will become new, are more moderately controlled, right? Right? Having more temperance over certain things. It says, but as He which have called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation, right? In all manner of conversation, all manner of conduct, we are commanded to be holy in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. Because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy, right? And where is that written? In Matthew's, this is one place it's written, right? Matthew's chapter 5 and 48. Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect, right? So we ought to be perfect. That's what the Lord is commanding us to do. He's commanding us to be perfect. And perfection does not happen overnight, right? We are working progress, right? You get a new job, right? It takes you some time for you to start doing everything right. You run in, and then later down the road, you might run into different problems on the job. You got to find out how to fix those things, right? So that's just a little example, But, wow. Yep, this is, we won't get that one, but let's get, this is 1 Peter 4 and 7. It says, but the end of all things is at hand, right? Be therefore sober and watch on to prayer. So the end of all things is at hand. This society is coming to an abrupt halt. The Lord is about to stop everything in the society. It's about to get real out here, and when you really understand it, it's already real. We have the eyes to see that this kingdom is already falling. It's only going to become very apparent or very real, right? I read a quote, the other day. It went, people don't see reality for what it is. They see reality for who they are. They can't perceive reality as what it is because their minds have shaped reality to believe for what they want it to believe. Right? And everybody believes that everything's okay. Everybody believes that things are just going to continue on, forever. That, these things are normal occurrences going on in the economy, that we're going to bounce back, that things aren't going to get bad. And for those who do believe things are going to get bad, they believe they can solve their problems with prepping, with this, with that. But no, your only way you can solve, solve the answers to your problems is that what? Let's get it, right? This is Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. right? So the wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai, that's what's going to keep you safe. That's what's going to solve your problems in the times that we're coming into. And we ought to be of a sober mind, using this wisdom, using this knowledge, so we can navigate, so we can press towards salvation, press towards, press through as we travel through this straight gate, right? That tightrope, you got to keep your eyes forward. Keeping your eyes on the prize, right? This is going to be the power of our salvation, right? Us being obedient to Yahweh Shema Shai, that is our treasure. Those are our riches. Obedience is our riches, right? And we're coming into that inheritance, right? I always make jokes, Can't wait till my uncle comes and leaves me that inheritance. Make jokes to people in the world. Like I got an inheritance coming. I know I got a wealthy relative somewhere. And Yahweh Shema Shai, he's gonna come and bestow all things onto us. We be part of that number, Lord's willing. Right, so let's get 1 Peter 4:7. One more time, it says, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be therefore sober and watch on to prayer." So we should be constantly praying, right? I don't care if you wake up late for work. There really shouldn't be a day that you go without praying, right? You should sacrifice, the flesh profit of nothing. Right? The words that Yahweh Shema Shai is speaking though unto us, they are spirit and they are life, right? So these instructions are how we're going to inherit everlasting life. The Lord is telling us to watch and pray, right? So there really shouldn't be a day that we're going without praying to Yahweh Shema Shai. And this is the reason why. It's 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, right? That word vigilant, if you didn't know, it means to be watchful, right? Watchful, full of watching, constantly looking around your surroundings, knowing what's going on in your area, right? They got these different apps called the Next Door app. You can see if local neighbors reporting an influx on crime in certain areas, so you can be aware of what's going on, right? You got these different, of course you gotta watch these alternative media sites. Watch different apostles and elders, bishops, who do the news and prophecy videos, right? This is how you stay up to date to what's going on here in Babylon the Great, right? It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, you have an adversary, right? And you have someone who's adverse to you, right? And they're a deceiver. Right, and they're here to deceive you. A lot of deception is going on here in Babylon the Great. You see, he's against you. He's here to deceive you to believe that reward is not at the end. That what you're doing is pointless. That what you're doing doesn't have any sense of virtue or any sense of reward at the end. Right, which that is far from the truth. You see? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, right? When a lion is not scared, he ain't backing down. A lion is not backing down. It says, as a roaring lion walketh about. Satan, spiritual demon, he goes to and fro in the earth, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, right? This is that spiritual war. So, Lord, seeking whom he may devour, right? This is St. Luke 21:34, and take heed to yourselves, right? We got to take heed to what we are preaching, right? We got to constantly be examining ourselves, least at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, right? That's surfeiting. And drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares, right? The word surfeiting means the excess, the feeling of excess, the feeling of a hangover, after, excessive amount of drinking, right? So to avoid the risk of your mind being overcharged, right, flooded, becoming unsober, becoming, impaired in your judgment, right? And when you're not feeding the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, that voice in your mind does not change, right? It still sounds like you, but you start making poor decisions, right? You start making bad decisions, and those poor decisions will lead to you being judged by Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why you constantly gotta be, doing something. If you're watching a video, you need to be, still making the right decisions. You don't got a brother around, you still gotta be making the right decisions. Our supervisors are watching everything, right? And you should be the person who wants to please their God. You should be, you have these things where it's, in 3 to 6 months, I'm gonna make myself proud. Well, I'm gonna make Yahweh Shema Shai proud, because that's what I want to do. It's my will to please my Lord, to the best of my ability. I'm gonna put my best foot forward. And that has to be our mind. That has to be our mindset, right? For as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell upon the face of the earth, right? Those who aren't sober, whose judgments are impaired, those who can't judge the signs and the times that we're living in, right? Those are going to be the ones when Yahweh Shema Shai, really has this point of no return come to Babylon the Great. When the times of Jacob's trouble, the implementation of the hour of temptation, we'll say it like that, which is the C-hip being made mandatory, right? It's going to come upon you unawares. That's when you're going to see reality as it is, Who knows? A lot of people still, people are going to be bugging out here. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all of these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. So you want to keep watching, keep praying that Yahweh Shema Shai may have mercy upon you in the day of his visitation. With that, Lord is willing to edify. Thanks, I'm going to say. Shalom.